Welcome to Fox 54 News at 6. I'm Logan Alexandra Russell. Huntsville residents will have a chance to weigh in on plans for future transit and development along University Drive tonight. The city is holding a community input meeting as it looks at how it can better connect people, public transportation, and development along the corridor. Tonight's meeting focuses on Northwoods and the surrounding area. It's one of 3 areas the city is studying for future transit, housing, and better connections. Fox 54's Valentina Chalala spoke with bus riders about what more frequent service could mean for their daily routines.
The idea is to make getting around as simple as hopping on and off a bus, with more frequent service and better connections along University Drive. Right now, buses along the corridor can run every 30 minutes or more, meaning riders can sometimes be left waiting for the next bus to come.
Sometimes they don't get there until about, the next time to the next route start.
The study focuses on Northwoods, UAH, and Mid-City, areas the city says have strong existing transit ridership, along with high population and job density. Planners are looking at how future high-capacity transit could connect those areas, including where stations could go and what development could surround them.
Sometimes it takes a little while with a lot of stops with a lot of people, especially on Route 2 and Route 4. So them like the 2 hardest routes, I noticed. And so it'd be a lot more convenient if they can have more bus routes and more extra people to help with the stops.
And bus riders we spoke to support the idea, hoping for quick service that can get them where they need to go.
I would love that. Definitely. That would be even better because it's quicker and faster.
The city says public feedback will help shape its recommendations for the University Drive corridor. In Huntsville, I'm Valentina Chalala, Fox 54 News.
Tonight's meeting lasts until 8 p.m. at the Calvary Hill Community Center, and another public input meeting will be held tomorrow night at the Huntsville City Hall. Sunshine, rain, and heat. Mix them all together and you get August weather. But I hear the heat is only going to grow. A heat advisory is also on our horizon. Joining us is Fox 54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Jordan, just how hot will it get?
Yeah, temperatures are going to climb into the mid and upper 90s over the next couple of days, and then heat indices are going to be a bit higher. And it's the higher heat indices that have prompted the issuance of the heat advisory that you're right is going to go into effect as we head into your Wednesday for all of North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. And as of right now, it is expected to run until Friday. Would not be the least bit surprised if it is continued into the weekend and then even through the early part of next week. August is doing exactly what August does. It took a couple of weeks for the August heat to settle in, but it is finally settling in. Radar in some locations looks nice and quiet, but in other locations we're talking about some stronger thunderstorms, specifically along the Highway 431 corridor, Owens Crossroads down into New Hope, traveling a little bit further. You kind of get dry in between New Hope and Guntersville, but then when you get down to Guntersville, we're talking about another round of stronger thunderstorms, some heavy rain, gusty winds, a little bit of thunder and a little bit of lightning. That activity sitting directly over Albertville. Now, over the next couple of days while the heat builds, the opportunities for rain drop off. We'll talk about it in a few minutes.
A Huntsville police officer arrested after being charged with solicitation of prostitution. The Huntsville Police Department tells Fox 54 officer Justin Barnes was arrested this morning around 4 a.m. Barnes was released a little more than 2 hours later on a $500 bond. HPD says they've placed Barnes on administrative duty while a separate internal investigation is underway. A Huntsville City Schools bus driver arrested following an incident yesterday afternoon. The Huntsville Police Department says officers were called to the intersection of Andrew Jackson Way and Risen Avenue around 4:30 p.m. after driver Kavitha McNeil stopped the bus and requested help with students. Officers found no evidence of a criminal offense involving the students and no injuries were reported. During the investigation, officers discovered McNeil had an active warrant through the Madison County Sheriff's Office. She was arrested and taken to the Madison County Jail on a menacing charge. The Sheriff's Office says McNeil's arrest was unrelated to the incident involving the students on the bus. Huntsville City Schools says she has been placed on leave while the district and its transportation provider investigate. A Marshall County judge issuing an emergency protection order against a former Albertville police officer arrested on charges of misusing state criminal justice databases. Authorities arrested Jeremy Hanna Friday after he allegedly misused the Alabama Criminal Justice Information System and Flock Safety Database to run background checks on his ex-wife, with whom he shares a child. The order prohibits Hanna from contacting, threatening, or harassing her and requires him to stay at least 300 feet away from her home, workplace, and school. A hearing for the protection order set for September 10th. Two former Hansville police officers set to enter plea agreements in a case stemming from an investigation into a dispatcher's overdose. According to court documents, former Chief Jason Marlin and former Officer Jason Wilbanks have reached plea agreements with the state and will enter their pleas on August 19th. Both are among 6 people indicted after a grand jury described a rampant culture of corruption inside the department. Investigators say evidence was mishandled, with drugs, firearms, and other items missing. In response, city leaders dissolved the entire police department. A 19-year-old Russellville High School graduate deported to Guatemala after being taken into ICE custody last month. Juan Kim was pulled over July 29th in Littleville while driving to work. Authorities claim he was following another car too closely, didn't have a driver's license, and was in the country without legal status. He was then taken into ICE custody. According to a family friend, Kim arrived in Guatemala Saturday night. It's unclear whether Kim plans to return to the United States. FOX54 previously spoke to one of Kim's former teachers who says she's heartbroken watching his family go through this.
He's still somebody's baby. And to be removed from that situation, removed from his friends, my heart was definitely pulled for him. That situation has kind of happened a few times because of the high Hispanic population in Russellville.
You can find a link to their GoFundMe on FOX54.com. 3 people injured after a crash involving a Geneva County Sheriff's vehicle on I-565 today. The crash happened on eastbound I-565, blocking the southbound Memorial Parkway exit. 4 cars appeared to be damaged, including one marked as a Geneva County Sheriff's Office unit. According to HEMC, 3 people were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. 1 person dead following a crash involving a dump truck in Colbert County today. The Tuscumbia Police Department says the crash happened around noon near Highway 72 and Vulcan Road. The driver of the car was pronounced dead at the scene. The dump truck driver was taken to Helen Keller Hospital for treatment. Their condition is not known at this time. Defense leaders, military officials, and industry experts from across the country are gathering right here in the Rocket City this week for the 29th annual Space and Missile Defense Symposium at the Von Braun Center. With global tensions rising, the Rocket City is once again serving as the hub for national security. One company with a major local footprint looks to play a crucial role in missile defense. More than 9,000 national defense experts are at the Von Braun Center this week for the Space and Missile Defense Symposium. As the home to Redstone Arsenal and the Missile Defense Agency, executives say there is no better place to meet than the Rocket City.
It's the center of integrated air and missile defense for the nation, really. So, and a lot of our customers are here. So the Missile Defense Agency is here, and other customers are here at Redstone Arsenal. And industry is also here. So because it's Rocket City, there's a lot of industry here as well. So this is really the best location to hold this conference.
Before the start of the symposium, Lockheed Martin announced a major milestone for its next-generation interceptor program, a successful Stage 2 static fire test in Tennessee.
We fired that engine on the ground to show that its performance, and it was kind of special because we did it in Tennessee at the Arnold Air Force Base, and at that Air Force Base they have special vacuum chambers and places where we can fire missiles that replicate the space environment.
With ongoing global conflicts in the Middle East and Eastern Europe, defense leaders say protecting the homeland is top priority. To meet that demand, Lockheed also announced a new partnership with Albany Engineered Composites to scale hypersonic manufacturing.
We're in an era of great power competition that is really different than any time in our nation's history. So the work that we're doing in integrated air and missile defense today helps ensure that we deter threats and then defend if we have to.
Along with Lockheed, the conference features over 300 exhibitors and panels centered around Space Command and next-generation technology. Defense leaders say the collaboration happening this week will directly shape national security for years to come. The symposium continues through Thursday at the Von Braun Center, with tomorrow's panel focusing on SpaceCom and defense innovation. Alabama voters in 4 congressional districts are heading to the polls today for a special primary election. Voters in the 1st, 2nd, 6th, and 7th congressional districts will choose nominees for upcoming special elections. The election follows a special session of the Alabama legislature and a U.S. Supreme Court order allowing the state to use a 2023 congressional map. No North Alabama districts are affected. Most Democratic nominees have already been determined, with the 6th district still having a contested Democratic primary. Officials say there will be no runoff election. The general election will continue as planned on November 3rd, alongside other statewide races.
He did that in the defense of our nation, and we want to be able to give back.
Freedom Alliance is helping improve the quality of life for one local hero. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo shows us how. Multiple hospitals across North Alabama are reporting 0 MRSA infections. Find out which local facilities made a nationwide report promoting patient safety. A local veteran got a brand new wheelchair today, but it's not just any wheelchair. It's meant for all terrains, including deep sand and rocky hills, so he can spend more quality time with his family. And according to the donor, Freedom Alliance, it's meant to serve those who sacrificed for our country. Freedom Alliance is a nationwide organization that's supported veterans for 36 years, helping improve quality of life for those still working through the wounds of war. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo shows us what they're doing to help make one man mobile again.
You may not think twice about it when you walk on sand, gravel, or steep hills, but for many of our nation's combat veterans with lasting injuries, it can be difficult to get up and go. That's why when Freedom Alliance helped out one local veteran with an all-terrain wheelchair, many here said it's life-changing.
It's a chair that has wide treads that is able to get him through the gravel, the mud, the snow, the sand and the beach, and he can go to pretty much anywhere he'd like to go, and he wants to go to those places with his family, with his kids, to enjoy them and to bring his family even closer together, and we're happy to help him do that.
Tom Kilgannon with Freedom Alliance says it's part of a program that's helped over 80 veterans across the country regain mobility and make their recovery just a little bit easier.
He made a sacrifice that was life-changing. He did that in the defense of our nation, and we want to be able to give back.
Corey Garman began his service in 2011 and was deployed to Afghanistan in 2012, serving 6 months overseas before an IED explosion took both of his legs. He says after 14 years getting around on prosthetics, this new wheelchair will give him even more time to do what he loves.
I just like being out there, and there's no excuses now. Thing is, I was out there before. This will allow me to do that, as often as I want to now, instead of, having maybe take the next day off to rest or whatever. This will make it very simple.
Garman adds the extra time with his children and taking a load off his wife will be the best part.
Instead of her chasing the kids around, it'll be me doing it. So she'll be very happy with that.
Whether he's playing with his kids or bringing them along for the ride, Garman says this new set of wheels makes it all possible again. In Gunnersville, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
Garman also says his next plans include a beach trip with his family, hunting when the season reopens, and learning how to navigate the chair with his son in his lap. Spooky season has arrived in North Alabama. Find out where you can gear up for Halloween coming up.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like Halloween's on the horizon. A heat advisory going to be in place across all of North Alabama for the next several days. We've also got a couple of different Fox 54 weather impact alert days to go with it. We'll talk about it in a few minutes.
We're County 911, what's the address of your emergency room? Okay, your wife is in a bar, you said she's unresponsive?
This is what he's going to tell you. How to get out of that situation.
And I grabbed the gun.
Trying to find the first place to put a body.
No, sir.
The only thing they could do was kill him.
You want to say anything? We, the jury, and to find the defendant.
Multiple hospitals nationwide reporting a 0 MRSA infection rate, including multiple here in North Alabama. Crestwood Medical Center and Athens Limestone Hospital are among 6 hospitals in Alabama listed in a recent report as having had no MRSA infections between July 2024 and June 2025. MRSA is a type of bacteria that can cause serious infections, including bloodstream infections. Hospitals monitor MRSA rates as part of efforts to prevent healthcare-associated infections. Spooky season is here. Multiple Spirit Halloween locations are opening across North Alabama, and more stores are expected to follow. The seasonal retailer is known for taking over vacant storefronts each year, bringing costumes, decorations, and other Halloween merchandise to communities across the state. Currently, stores in Huntsville and Decatur are open, with a Florence and another Huntsville store to open soon. You can find a list of Spirit Halloween locations on fox54.com.
Off to far northwest Alabama we go this evening. This is Waterloo. beautiful over in Waterloo this evening. How do you feel about spooky season?
I'm not really a spooky season person.
Really?
No.
So, like on the list of the big holidays, like 4th of July, Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, where do we put Halloween?
Halloween is, I don't know that it's even on the list.
Oh, really?
Unpopular opinion, yes.
I think that, do you enjoy the candies and the such?
I don't like candy. I know. I know, that's not normal, but no.
I thought we were friends up until this exact,
I know, I'm sorry to break your heart.
No candy at all?
Nope.
Really?
There's a backstory.
Okay, and something tells me we probably don't have the time for
We
the backstory.
don't, we don't.
Okay. Well, the one thing I could advise you against eating right now is chocolate, because, well, it would probably melt in record time. And frankly, I just wouldn't have chocolate for the next several days because it's only going to get warmer than what we're talking about right now. 90 feels like 103 right now in Huntsville. 87 feels like 95 in Arab. 89 feels like 98 in Coleman. 92 feels like 100 in Pulaski, up in southern Middle Tennessee. Now, for the time being, these are everything you would expect in the month of August. A little bit cooler over in northeast Alabama. 81 feels like 87 in Scottsboro. 77 feels like 78 over in Fort Payne. Things are going to change over the next couple of days, and for that reason, we've got a couple of different Fox 54 weather impact alert days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Specifically, the hottest part of any given day, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. We're talking about some extreme heat that's going to build into the Tennessee Valley. Of course, that means you're going to want to stay cool. Now, I put a picture of a window because I wanted to give you what I thought was a really good tip. Normally, people just run their air conditioners and hope that's enough to cool off your house, but I learned what actually makes a significant difference is to close your window coverings, whether that's your blinds or your curtains, or if you have both, do that. But I've actually found that closing my window coverings actually makes a significant difference. We're entering into kind of a summertime weather pattern, a weather pattern that you would have expected to have already been here for the last couple of weeks, but it's kind of taken its time setting up as we've really moved into the month of August. That pattern involves an area of high pressure, kind of hanging out in the northern Gulf. The rotation around that area of high pressure is such that we are going to bring a lot of very warm and moist air into the Tennessee Valley. Not only is that going to send our air temperatures climbing, but it's going to send the heat indices climbing as well, above 105 degrees. It's high as 110 as we head into the weekend. But the Fox 54 weather impact alert day only goes through Friday. Why not continuing it into the weekend? Well, I was thinking about Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. There's a number of different professions that kind of force folks to be outdoors. And then, of course, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you've got your different local high schools, middle schools, whatever, practicing for sports, different bands type of things. In a lot of cases, during the work week, you're kind of forced to be outside. You're not really forced as much to be outside as we head into the weekend. As we head into the weekend, there are several more opportunities and options to stay cool. Here's the heat advisory that's going to be in place through at least Friday. Would not be the least bit surprised if it's kind of continued as we head into the weekend. Radar, for the most part, looks quiet this evening, west of the I-65 corridor, that is. However, scattered showers and thunderstorms continue to hang out east of I-65, specifically along the 431 corridor. Owens Crossroads down into New Hope, dry kind of between New Hope and Gunnersville, but then once you get just to the south of Gunnersville, we're talking about some very heavy rain down into Marshall County, Albertville, talking about some very heavy rain. As a matter of fact, a flash flood warning has been issued given the very heavy rain that some of those folks are talking about. Have a good look at the next 7 days. 94 degrees Wednesday, Thursday, 96 on Friday. Again, heat indices is going to be anywhere between 105 and 109. Air temperatures continue to climb as we head into the weekend. 97, 98 Saturday, Sunday, 99 degrees on Monday. Fox 54 weather impact alert days might be continued into Monday and Tuesday of next week because, again, 99 next Monday, 97 degrees next Tuesday.
Michael Johnson is one of the greatest players in the history of UNA football, and now his son is playing at his dad's alma mater. We got more on the Johnson family at UNA next in sports.
Fox 54 Plus has your news, sports, and weather. Start your evening with Fox 54 at 5:30, delivering the latest headlines and live reports straight from the scene. Then stay informed with Fox 54 News at 9. Featuring your Tennessee Valley certified most accurate weather impact team, tracking everything from tornado threats to traffic delays during severe weather. Fox 54 Sports Extra brings you more of what sports fans crave, with deeper insights, expert analysis, and all the action that matters most. On Fox 54 Plus, you'll also find Alabama politics, plus 24/7 weather radar and real-time forecasts to keep you ahead of the storm. Looking for a quick recap? Don't miss Fox 54 Week in Review, highlighting the biggest stories of the week. Jumpstart your morning with Morning Rush. Fast-paced news updates, featured with uplifting stories from across the globe. Get your entertainment fix with Getting Real, where we break down movie reviews, top 10 lists, and spotlight the newest film. Die Hard fan? Locked On Sports dives deep into the Crimson Tide, the Tigers, college rivalries, and pro action. True crime warrior style? Killer Cases brings you gripping real-life stories that stick with you. Hungry for more? Cooking with Style serves up mouth-watering recipes that are easy to make and impossible to resist. From movie previews before you head to the theater with Take a Look to must-know headlines from across the region and around the world with In the News. Watch all of these shows on demand and also on the Fox 54 News app. Available on Android and iOS devices. Streaming 24/7.
Hey, good evening, everyone. UNA fans may remember the impact Michael Johnson had during his collegiate career. In 2009, he was named the Gulf South Conference and D2 National Player of the Year before being inducted into the UNA Athletic Hall of Fame in 2021. What you may not know is the Johnson legacy is standing strong in this year's roster. Gabe Glassman has the story.
Michael Johnson currently serves as the linebackers coach for Lion football, but his impact with UNA began before his time on the sidelines. The UNA Athletic Hall of Famer earned multiple All-American nods as a player in the 2000s. But now, the Johnson name is back in purple and gold.
It's been great. I got to be with my dad, get to be with a new unit. Man, it's great out here.
Levy Johnson, Michael's son, is a newcomer to North Alabama. The redshirt junior was most recently with South Alabama before making his way to Florence.
Sitting in my apartment in Mobile, I was on the phone. They were on the staff meeting. I told them I'm on the way, but I got to get back in the gym. Like, I lost a lot of weight, hurt my ankle, but ever since then, we done straightened it back up, and I'm back to tip-top shape.
Michael could barely believe the news when Levy told him he was going to be a Lion.
I had to pinch myself just to make sure I was awake, that my baby boy wanted to be around his dad at such a crucial time in his life. It's kind of like raising a kid and they're paying you back. You know, when you raise them the right way, they want to be back around you again later in life, and it's just a big cycle, and I love being around them every day.
The family bond may be shared, but there's no shortage of competition.
Since he's the linebacker coach, man, it's nothing but smoke right now. I got to get it in with his guys. So if it would have been different, he would have stayed as running back, but he had linebackers now, so I got to do it to his guys.
I was coaching one of my linebackers, and one of the blitzes that he had to run, he had to lock up with my son, and I find myself not rooting for my son during practice, and then I watch film, and I'm like, ooh, that's my baby. And I just got to pinch myself.
And while the competition remains strong, Michael says getting to compete side by side with his son is something special.
To be able to impart in his life, to be a part of his decisions that he makes, to kind of guide him in the rest of life off the field. God's been good to me, man.
And we will see the Johnson family in action on August the 29th right here in Huntsville when UNA takes on Sanford over at Joe Davis Stadium. That'll do it for sports. I'm Mo Carter.
Coming up tonight at 9, investigators are looking into whether foul play might have been involved in the hanging death of a Mississippi woman. We'll take you to Jackson. Voters in Alabama's 1st, 2nd, 6th, and 7th congressional districts heading to the polls today for a special election. We'll have the details ahead. And the Tony Volunteer Fire Department honoring 2 politicians for serving the community. We'll take you to the ceremony coming up tonight at 9.
Fox 54 weather impact alert days at least Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We're talking about some dangerous heat that's going to begin to build into the area. Air temperature is going to climb to the mid and upper 90s. Those temperatures are only going to continue to rise as we head into the weekend. And then we're talking about heat indices that could be anywhere between 105 and 110. Now, this is weather that we would have expected kind of a couple of weeks ago when August started. So just a bit delayed. Do you like other sweets? Like cakes or pies?
I can tolerate cake, but I can't do a lot of frosting. I'm just not a big sugar person.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I just had to know. I was very curious.
Yes, I can tolerate some sweets, just not all.
Okay.
Well, that's all we have for you on Fox 54's News at 6. Have a good evening.